go, baby. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to get into more of a serious topic. So this is your trigger warning. We're going to be talking more about the sugar baby, sugar daddy relationships. I really feel like a lot of girls between the ages of like 17 to 27 have probably thought about or seen other women be sugar babies. And from social media, it looks enticing, right? We see them in Dubai, on yachts, traveling, Chanel this, Gucci that, going to Paris, buying new cars, just a whole bunch of different flashiness. But let's kind of get some insight on what they experience behind closed doors, or at least what you could expect if you were to go into sugar babying, okay? Final PSA. I understand this video may not be for everybody. We all live different lifestyles, different age groups, different walks of life, ethnicities, cultures, and backgrounds, okay? So even if this is your lifestyle and is what you do, then you know firsthand from experience. Every female, every woman is not built or meant to experience those same things. So somebody needs to hear it. If it's not you, fine. I'll see you in the next video. But we have to spread awareness so at least when women choose to walk through that door, they can have some type of expectation on what's waiting for them on the other side. Let's get into this video.
Was just like, I don't want to give you money, but I'll pay for your school, I'll pay for your rent,
But no money?
but no money.
What? Who does that?
I think a lot of sugar daddies do that. Because if you give a girl money, then you're giving her freedom.
Oh, that's
He's
smart.
smart because he doesn't want you to take his money and go around maybe like have like another boyfriend, spend your money on the boyfriend. You live in like a $3,500 a month apartment, fine, paid. But he won't put that money in your hand because then
Then you got power to do stuff.
you have power to run away from him.
So my sugar daddy got me a Louis Vuitton purse for Christmas, and then last time I went to go get my nails done, the nail tech lady was like, oh, like, that's a really nice purse that you have. And I was like, oh yeah, like it was a Christmas gift for my friend. And she was like, oh, your friend has good taste. And I was like, yeah, he did a good job. And she was like, oh, he's a boy. And the girl next to me literally cackled.
Come on now. let's get somebody in here who we can fuck over for real.
You think being in the Marines is hard? You think being a finance bro is difficult? Try being a sugar baby. That is probably one of the most demanding careers that you could ever be in, especially in this economy. You may think from the outside that it's all yacht trips to San Tropez and St. Bart's and white dresses and road beauty cream blushes. But these girls are entrepreneurs. You think that these girls are just Instagram influencers going on trips all the time? No, baby. That is a front cover for the IRS. First, you have to do your hours in the field and you have to build up a repertoire or a roster of some of your best suitors. You have to think long game about this shit. If you play your cards right, you can go from being on a yacht trip to being an investor in a new restaurant opened in Hidden Hills. And everybody just thinks that your job is all about sex. It's not. In this career, you have to balance being beautiful and friendly, likable, but also nonchalant, pretty, but not too pretty where you stick out everywhere we go. I mean, navigating working with the most insufferable men on the fucking planet takes a psychology degree that you can only get in the streets. I mean, these girls are on the go. They're on call. I mean, Saturday, it's Lake Como. Wednesday, it's Ibiza. Justice for my escorts and my sugar babies, because people might not recognize your hustle, but I do.
I don't even know where to start. Let's go with the college girls. Like she said, these men are not handing you the money. They are paying for things. They're going to pay for your books maybe, or get your oil changed, or like maybe your half your rent, or just whatever. But they are not going to just hand you cash money. And if they do, it's not going to be a lot of it because like she said, they want control. The other girl doesn't even understand why the women were laughing at her. The purse that he gave her is fake. She didn't even know enough about Louis Vuitton. He gave her a fake bag. That's like counterfeit money. He gave that to her, and that was probably in her price. Well, just buy me a luxury bag, daddy, and we'll be good. And he bought her. He probably went on DHgate and bought her a half mirror image quality bag, and she went to the nail salon and they called it out. They didn't want to be rude. They didn't want to, whatever. But you don't even realize that you don't know enough about the world and the industry to even accurately price yourself right. So you're automatically losing off rip.
I was curious what would happen if I got a sugar mommy because men are scary, and I decided to go through with one. And I got my first check, but I knew this was way too good to be true. But she sent the check, and I was like, okay, let me just try to cash it in. And it went through. Then my bank locked out my account, and now I have to get a new card. How do I explain to my accountant that I tried getting money from a fake sugar mommy?
Other ways they're going to try to convince you is that they will tell you that they will give you their card information or their bank information, like their account and their routing number, so that you can pay off a bill or a credit card or something like that. Do not do this. What ends up happening is that when you use these numbers to pay off a card or a bill or something like that, it will appear as if the transaction has gone through for maybe 2 or 3 days, but then it will come back as being bounced. Again, you can get in trouble for this because you are sending or trying to pay something with false information. So you might be thinking, okay, how is this a scam to me if they're giving me this, money or bank information for me to pay off my things? Well, what ends up happening is that after that payment has cleared or they've given you that information, somehow or another, they end up out of state and they can't use their card, or their account gets flagged or held up on something, and they need you to go and buy a gift card or send some money to a friend for something or another. For whatever reason, they want you to use your money and your card to send something to them or go and purchase something for them. And they will actually try to guilt you for this. They will say, well, I sent you this, why can't you go and do this for me? 9 times out of 10, you do feel guilty and you're like, well, he paid off this, so obviously I can go and do that. No, because what happens is that all the information they gave you is fake, and now you are going to come out of your pocket, your money, by doing this for them. Now, a lot of these men, when you try to tell them oh, I'm not comfortable with doing this, I don't want to use this information, how can I trust you? That is when they come back full fucking force. The ways that they try to convince you are absolutely mind-blowing. It's actually pretty extraordinary. What they have ended up doing is that they have created false profiles. They've created fake phone numbers. They have created fake transactions. So they will actually send you screenshots of money that they have sent. They will send you profiles of other people that they've helped out that you can go and actually talk to. They'll send you phone numbers or screenshots of them conversing with these people about how they sent them money or whatever to try to gain your trust. All you're doing is talking to them on these different platforms. You're texting them with a different phone number. You're sending them messages on different profiles. All of these are fake. A lot of them will even get really mad at you and be like, how do you not trust me? I don't understand. I did this and this, and they'll actually get really, really defensive with you. That's why when I tell you that when you find out that you're kind of talking to a scam artist or something, or you feel like you are, you need to block them and move on.
I know most of us know the signs of a scam when we see them, but just keep in mind, everybody's at a different stage of their learning. Everybody has had different experiences. Some people don't know anything about this, so they fall for it. Obviously, people are falling for it because they're still doing it online. And when you see posts like hers, oh, I sent the $25 thinking it was a scam, now I'm getting flued out, a lot of women actually believe that. So that's why I'm telling you that is a scam.
Are you conscious?
Yes.
Can you prove it?
Let's start over. Sorry.
Okay. Are you conscious?
No.
Babies are just diet spicy accountants that are a lot less direct. High risk, yes, but also possibly high reward. I don't know what kind of sugar baby you're doing, but you're either not that good at it because you can definitely have more than one sugar daddy, or you're spending time doing a lot of emotional labor, in which case you're his therapist too, baby girl. Because let's be real, for 0.5 seconds, there would be no relationship with that person if they weren't giving you the compensation that you wanted, and if they weren't getting what they wanted, which is ass. Also, let's not pretend that there are not certain numbers for an allowance that you would say yes or no to depending on how big or small. And the reason why you can't admit that you have rates is because you're holding on to a lot of sex stigma. Also, to just say what a lot of other people are very afraid to say within the spicy counting community is that a lot of these sugar daddies, honestly, a lot of them are really giving splendid daddy, are just dudes who've been blacklisted by actual spicy accountants and they can't see people, so they go on these websites to see if they can get the same thing for less effort. Or really, I should actually say less effort on their end because they're not screening or doing any of the proper things that keep people safe. It's more effort on your end because more often than not, these dudes will blur the line between boyfriend and client. Like, can you imagine going on a Hinge date with someone and being like, hey, I just need to screen you for 1 second to make sure that you're a safe person? Like, that would never happen. But if you did that with like someone from Seeking Arrangement, they'd be like, wait, what? I thought you really liked me. I don't want this to feel transactional. I can't believe you're doing the same labor, if not more, but it's more of an unpaid internship for you because you're really not supposed to be doing all this emotional labor for this man. And probably for the same rate, too, that you would get if you were just a regular spicy accountant. There are plenty of spicy accountants that just have one main client, and there are a lot of sugar babies who have a rotation. Sounds like you're neither. Also, half these dudes have wives. Like, how are you justifying that with your purity culture mindset? And by the way, you can do both sugaring and spicy counting. I'm just making it clear that one's not better than the other. Sugar babying is just spicy counting in a wig, and that wig prevents you from being able to set boundaries and also from securing the bag as tight as you could. Good luck, girl.
Come on now. Let's get somebody in here who we can fuck over for real.
One of the biggest issues I had when I was a sugar baby was maintaining boundaries. When either person blurred the lines or stepped over boundaries, it almost always didn't work out. The sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship is very similar to a friends with benefits situation. What always happens in a friends with benefits situation? Someone catches feelings. In the situation I'm thinking of, I had been seeing the sugar daddy for like 9 months. We got along well, but I was not good at maintaining clear boundaries. He very much started to see me as a girlfriend. Even though that wasn't something I wanted, I let it stay in the gray area for way too long. One night at dinner, he was visibly upset, and I asked him what was wrong. He said that he felt frustrated that he hadn't been introduced to my friends yet. That's where me blurring the lines became really problematic because we were on 2 totally different pages at this point. I really wanted to keep the sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship separate from everything. He was ready to be planning dinner with the parents. That's what happened. I was terrible with boundaries. He ended up catching feelings. And surprise, surprise, it didn't work out.
Hi, nice to meet you. So, when did you start like having this attention to younger girls? It's weird. Oh, do you have daughters? Oh, you have 2 daughters. Ah, they are so beautiful. So, do you have like these fantasies with which one? With this one or with this one? Ah. So that's why you have like this commitment issues. So that's why you started dating with younger girls. How is your relationship with your mother? You're so funny. So I brought my paperwork, like my visa, and I don't know if you can sign it. You don't want to? Okay. I know that it's our first. Yeah, I know it's our first day. But if you can do it for Messi, yeah, for Messi.
That when you are a sugar baby, you pretty much are a 304. If you don't know what that is, it pretty much rhymes with prostitute. Okay. When you are a sugar baby, that's what you are, except you're paying emotionally because you have to talk to this man. You have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to spend time. It's not just wham, bam, and done. You have to grow a relationship, and that's time consuming. And growing that relationship with somebody that you don't want should cost money, but they're not paying that rate. So really, you're discounting your services. If you're going to be a 304, you might as well step all out in it and do the thing right. If you're going to do it right, but don't try to be a sugar baby.
Okay, this is part 2 of why did I stop sugar babying. Sugar babying, like they say about many types of sex work, it's fast money, but it's not easy money. Like you might hear like 1-2 hour date for $200. Like that's so light. Literally $100 an hour. Like what the fuck? So easy. But in reality, you have to vet your clients. You have to talk to them the way that you would talk to somebody, like as if you're going on a real date, like give them the full fantasy. Like I used to say that being a sugar baby is like being an actress, being a therapist. You have to like teeter on the line of being flirty, but like not giving them the wrong idea And then you're also like managing yourself. Like you're putting yourself out there. You're having the connections with these guys. Like you're building that till you even get to the date in the first place. Like for every one successful date I did have, I have like 3 other guys who either flaked and fell off or are sending me unsolicited dick pics or are just bothering me 24/7, calling me. Some of them want to FaceTime. Like, leave me the hell alone. And like, yeah, I could charge extra for that too, and I did sometimes, but like, it still ends up being a lot. And then it gets to the point where there are going to be some periods where you're just investing so much time on the back end that you're like, this money isn't even worth it. Like, I was like, yeah, I'd rather invest this time and effort into my own career and making money that way, because I didn't see sugar babying as a long time thing. I just didn't want to work in the service industry anymore. And I never have since, so it worked out.
Trafficking is on the rise right now, and if you're looking to get into the sugar baby world, you are a prime target. Back in the day, you know, these men had to approach young women who were either on the streets or seemed vulnerable and had to try to convince them that they would take care of them, that they would give them money, buy them clothes, all kinds of expensive things. For some of these young girls that didn't know any better, it was really easy to get caught up in it. But now we've come into a digital age, and these men that are looking for these women and preying on them has become so much easier. This is why when I told you, when you make your profile, when you talk to these men, you do not come off as a damsel in distress. You do not come off as desperate. You do not come off as needing a hero. Because now what's happening is that these men who are targeting these women, they are specifically seeking you out because they know that you need money. They know that you need help. And if they can just promise you and convince you that they are the one to do it, you have fallen into a really dangerous trap. Ladies, it is imperative to keep your guard up. It is imperative that you do your research, that you trust your gut, and that you follow your instincts. If there's any red flags, if there's anything that seems suspicious, do not do it.
I really just moved my car halfway across my apartment complex because there is no parking. Advice to you, if you get an apartment, don't get one with open parking. Get one with assigned parking. I don't pay almost $1,700 to park all the way across my apartments. Come home, do a word search, and watch Sam and Colby. 19 years old, just doing a word search, watching Sam and Colby. What an amazing life.
Did y'all hear about that girl that was recording and she had a sugar daddy and he got mad that she didn't give him no sugar and he kept buying her stuff and he was getting fed up? Obviously he did look like he was drunk, but did y'all see that video? Before I got saved, I used to, before Sprinkle came up, OGs know things on social media, especially on YouTube, there was a lot of laws of attraction and manipulating videos that were on the social media platform before Shira 7 years ago, and I used to study front and back those channels and do those things to lure men and get things. And at one point I just had to stop because I remember I was in a situation where I was in this man's house. It was a mini mansion, okay, and this man was drunk and I couldn't keep using him. I clearly seen that this man was going down a horrible road, and he was so drunk, and I was super terrified, y'all, and I just couldn't keep taking advantage of him. And that was the scariest moment, me being at his house by myself. Nobody knew. He could have did X, Y, and Z to me just out of the blue, and nobody would have known. He lived in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't go any deeper. I can't keep manipulating people. I can't keep manipulating men. I can't keep using them. Even though, of course, we know, this is a transaction. You obviously know that I'm here to get something from you, but you're supposed to be getting something from me too, because I understand how people think. They think that it's okay to keep living that lifestyle because it's you want something from me, I want something for you, but it's manipulation, and it's very just leave them alone. Leave the men that have money alone, okay? They are in a dark space when they are seeking sugar babies. You know what I mean? They're going through a lot. If you actually sit with them and talk with them, and I didn't have the heart to keep doing that anymore. And it was just oh my gosh, this man is miserable. and I couldn't do it anymore. I tapped out. I had tapped out. I couldn't do the quote unquote sprinkle lifestyle before sprinkle was out, because this was like what, 2018 or 19. But yeah, oh, it was horrible. And I come to say that because a lot of young girls, that's pushed with social media and influence. Like that lifestyle is pushed for you to do that stuff or try to have a sugar daddy in your early adulthood, just now barely adult, because you're still like a late teenager. But yeah.
As you can see from those last clips, safety is always a big issue. You don't know these men. They get angry, they're drunk, they're on drugs, whatever. They're just easy to snap like you don't know them. There's nobody that could be there to save you. So the first girl was saying she can't even let him know where she lives. The other girl is just like, wow, I just really realized I'm at his mercy. And the other girl said the money's not even worth it. Only maybe one out of every four of them is actually willing to give you money. So it's not even worth it with the ratios. Another thing I'm realizing is the top tier sugar babies, they seem to have multiple sugar daddies. Like the people that have a lifestyle out of it, they seem to have multiple sugar daddies, aka clientele, aka Johns. Okay. This is what I'm saying. It's a slippery slope. Being a sugar baby is a slippery slope and a gateway position. It's an entry level prerequisite into being a 304, into being a full blown escort, or just a outwardly sex worker. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it like that. They really push it on us and try to glamorize it, but it's honestly not all that they try to make it seem out to be. So you got to be ready to play dirty, get down and dirty, be with low down men. A lot of these men are married, or some of these men are bisexual too, drug addicts, all type of stuff. They're in high risk career fields, if you will. You're in danger just being seen next to them on the streets. Like you don't know these people.
James had a wife and a girlfriend when I met him. I knew I could get him though. I didn't know when I first met him that he had a wife and a girlfriend. I found out later. But the only reason I stuck around is because I knew there weren't no competition. If I could date someone for 3 months, have him paying all my bills, and he got he was separated, and he's separated and has a girlfriend, and he haven't stopped seeing me yet, then I'm the one. If I could take him, then I can keep him, and I'm not just being confident. He was way older than me, so I calculated that out correctly. I didn't take someone my same age. I didn't take someone who looked better than me. I took someone I knew I was going to be able to keep.
When I first seen Shira, I liked what I heard from her. I liked the things that were the loudest to me. But hearing her reading in between the lines and learning the things that I've learned, Shira is leading y'all down the wrong path. This whole I got him, I took him, I kept him. That's the competition mindset that women have when they're being pick me's. I was better than them. I was better than his wife. I was better than his girlfriend. I kept him. I took him. Mine, mine, mine. That's not the mindset of a woman that's mature and a woman that knows she's the prize. That's a woman that's into a competition. That's a mindset that you have when you apply to be on the Flavor of Love show. That's not how you search for a husband.
If I could take him, then I can keep him, and I'm not just being
She took that out. She was naturally going to say, I'm not just being a hoe. And she caught herself. Whether she was going to say a hoe or a homemaker. If you rewind it back, you'll hear her catch herself. Shira is a beautiful woman. She's now mature. She's learned a lot and she's sharing what she's learned, which is a great thing. But you can't tell me that you were the prize of a woman and he was just ready to eat your dirty panties and drink your bathwater, and you got a lifestyle and a marriage out of selling that dream. You were doing those things. You weren't giving him the brochure. You were giving him the full ride, the full experience. So how then dare you get up and then walk around as if, oh yeah, he just fell at my feet. She's done some dirty things for some money sexually. I don't know if y'all are ready to accept that or not. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But a lot of women that listen to her don't understand that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. Last thing, and I'm going to leave Shira alone. Y'all need to understand the logistics of it. How long have you been dating? Okay. How many men have fooled you? All right. How many times have you been disappointed, tricked, manipulated, and lied to? Okay. Do you think James is the first man that Shira has jumped over his wife and under his girlfriend to get to? Do you know how many times she's been misled? Do you know how many times she's done that same performance that worked for James that didn't work for other men? Hmm? Riddle me this. Do you think after she was with James, she didn't keep trying that with men that she thought had more than James? It just didn't work out? See, y'all are not hearing the other side of it. You only see what you think is her success story, then you take it and run with it. But he did not just fall at her feet because she's beautiful. I think by now we all realize there's 47,000 types of beauty, and men can't seem to choose one over the other. So we already know it's not that. We just know you were the youngest, the most gullible, and you probably didn't know when to say no. And y'all gotta stay off of social media and holding these people on a pedestal, because although she says she's not a dating coach, she's a financial advisor. She's teaching you how to get these money from these tricks, which is what escorts do. So I'm not saying everything she says is wrong, and a lot of those things can be transferred, but the gist of it is what I just said.
Never ever be with a man that has ever used escorts, sugar babies, massage parlors, any of those things. Never do it to yourself, girls. I promise you'll regret it. Even if you are the escort that is going to marry this guy, trust me, this is a man that pays for validation. It's a man that will pay to feel desired. It's a man that's not willing to work on himself enough to get the women he desires. And more so than anything, it's a man that doesn't look for emotional and spiritual or intellectual connection with a woman. He just looks for what he sexually desires. I know you're going to say, oh, all men have that desires, all that. No, not all men. All losers have that desire. The desire to just have a woman that is just good for them sexually. The biggest red flag is men that pay for sex is they're usually porn addicts. They are absolutely addicted to pornography. And how you know that they're addicted to pornography?
Another thing, these men be into some nasty stuff, right? That's why they have to pay somebody to actually do it with them, because they can't really get women to do it out of love because it's too
I saw
weird.
someone
So
else do
with
this, but
that,
I'm a
they're
snags
gonna
worker,
they're gonna
and
make
here
sure
are
to
some of the
earn everything.
stranger
Let's get into
requests
some
I've
of the
gotten.
weirdest stuff
Also, this
women
is a
have
no
been
judgment zone. This is just things that are like out of the ordinary. There's someone who asks me to crawl around in a circle and bark like a dog for 2 hours. I have someone who likes me to just eat raspberries off my fingers, like this, with the little raspberry hats, which is kind of cute. There's one guy that emails me every 6 months. I didn't say yes to this one, but he asks me to like defecate in a Tupperware and mail it to him. And every 6 months, I get the email, and I'm like, hi, babe. Answer still a no, but hi. Someone asked me to make a video where I pour a bunch of yogurt in my pants, and then I like go crazy because it feels so good, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't stop pouring yogurt in my pants, and I start pouring yogurt all over my head too. And I'm just like, oh my god, this yogurt, it feels so good. Someone asked me to cover my like calves with Nutella, like just rub Nutella all over my calves, but I'm never doing that again because washing it off was so hard. I know a speculum guy that likes me to just like speculum up and then likes to like look in there for like 20-30 minutes. Someone once asked me to fill my room with like big, giant, huge balloons, and I'm like trying to get out and I'm like having to pop them and this and that. Someone actually asked me if I could get someone to punch me in the stomach, and I told one of my friends that, and they're like, I'll do it. And I was like, whose side are you on? Everyone on my side of the internet knows the dial soap guy who has you like put dial soap in your mouth.
One question I always get asked is, how can you do FS with unattractive clients? Yes, I do have a brush in my hair. I ran out of rollers and had to use like my Dyson. But honestly, I don't care too much if the guys are unattractive. Like, I have had a fair few unattractive guys in my time. I have had like super obese guys, ugly guys, but most of my clients are normal looking guys. A big thing for me though is hygiene. Like, I am such a germaphobe, and the thought of just like a bodily smell repulses me. Like, any kind of smell, I will dry reach. So I always make sure with any of my clients, they get straight in the shower. And I will watch them in the shower, and they're not coming out until they scrub right down. Like, I put mouthwash, I put body wash, I put everything in the shower, and I make sure they use it all. Even guys that I date, it just grosses me out. A client of mine once had a shower, like did the usual thing, had a shower, came back in, we started doing the deed, and he literally smelled so bad, and I told him to get back in the shower and sort himself out. And he was fine with that because obviously, you know, he wants me to have a good time too, and I am not going near that if it smells.
He loves. Yes, this is so true. Oh, buddy. I totally thought it was going to be easy money. I thought all my debt was going to be paid off. I thought I was going to be flown around the world, bought luxury items, and I think a lot of that has to do with what social media portrays to us. But this is really not the case. A lot of times they're only giving you a couple $100 to sleep with them, and they don't want to take you on trips. They want to keep it secretive because most of these men are struggling with sexual addictions, and a lot of them are very twisted sexual addictions, and they're using you and your body to fulfill them. It's not about this luxurious life, and a lot of them don't even have a lot of money. They are using the few $100s they can to do this. So I just want to put that out there, that this like idea of these sugar daddies is like, I would say like 95% of the time it's not like that. From my experience, it was 100% of the time it was not like that at all. And I also wanted to say that there is absolutely nothing easy about forcing yourself to have sex with somebody. There's nothing easy about it.
Get ready with me while I talk about the pros and cons of being an SW. Pro, you will make a lot of money. Con, when you first get into the game, babe, you're gonna have troubles saving it. Like a lot of us, when we first get in, we just make this money and we say we're gonna save and we'll be good, and I'll just do it for a couple of years and then I'll be done, or I'll just do it for a year. Some people even say I'll just do it for a couple months, and then you'll spend it like crazy because you know how easy it's gonna be to make it back. And then when the slow season approaches, you're looking dumb. Obviously, you can be killed at any moment. At any moment, your life can come to an end. You have the freedom to do just about whatever you like. Unless you work at, like, you know, a strip club or something. But for the most part, you do whatever you want. You make your own schedule. Nobody's telling you what to do. You're your own boss. Prepare for leeches. There will be people that will hang around you that don't even like you, but just because they know how much money you're making, and just because they know how loving and generous you are, they're going to use you. They're going to use you until they have no use for you. But when taking it serious and you're putting yourself on a schedule and you're sticking to your goals, you can actually be in and out. You can retire early. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family. People's going to talk about you. Oh well, such is life. You are definitely going to enter rooms with people that can change your whole entire life. Learn how to play your cards. If you're out about what you do, men will approach you in the most disrespectful way you could ever think of. I don't know what goes through their heads, but to them, you're no longer a human. You're just an object. Even though it was like that to most of them in the first place. Very possible to develop some addictions, alcohol, drug use, whatever. It can happen. Don't let it happen. You will begin to lose interest in an actual love life because of how many of your customers are married or whatever. You're gonna realize so many men is just trash. You're gonna lose hope in an actual love life. This will probably be some of the funnest times of your life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Some dangerous times, but it'll probably be some of the funnest times of your life. If you're not spiritually cleansing and protecting yourself, you will come across some energies and some demons that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, babes. It don't matter how you was raised. It don't matter how you came up. When you get in this game, you're going to develop some tough skin. And you're going to get to a point in your life where ain't nothing going to surprise you no more. If you think I missed something, drop it in the comment section. I'll add it to part 2.
I just dated this motherfucking trick.
that smelled so bad, and then had the nerves to lift up his belly, y'all, and a roach came from under there. A roach. I swear to God, I'm not capping. A roach came from under his belly. He looks at me and I look at him like, you know this is not gonna go down. I used to be a 304, but now I'm an anti-human trafficking advocate / consultant, and I just wanted to come on here to shed some light into the game and what it means to be a sex worker in spite of the recent trends that have been going on TikTok. I can't speak for everyone when I say that sex work is not all that it's cut out to be, but I can speak from experience and tell you that it is a facade. Many times you will see someone glorifying or romanticizing the game, but you don't hear the downsides of what it means to be a sex worker, and that's what I want to talk about. First things first, I want to talk about pimps. Many times women go into the game thinking that they're going to be keeping or saving all of their money, but what they don't see is that many of these women put themselves at risk for being trafficked, robbed, or being manipulated by a man who will tell you all of these sweet nothings in order to convince you that you need to pay him. Some pimps take no for an answer, but then there are others that will literally not even give you the option. Some pimps will convince you that, it was your choice to even choose up with them or to be with them. But then at any moment when you're trying to leave or you decide you no longer want to do it, they're either threatening you, threatening your family, or blackmailing you into staying. Speaking of choice, number 2 is many women go into the game for survival, not even really having a choice. A lot of women either face challenges with immigration, education, resources, mental health, trauma, etc. The list goes on. The game was never meant to be a first resort for finances, but with the increasing glorification of sites like OnlyFans and, the current status of our society, many women are looking for ways to make fast money, but let me assure you that it's not worth it. It might sound like a good idea at first, but I promise you the game will literally chew you up and spit you out, and you'll come out of it leaving as a shell of the person you were before you went in. Also consider the fact that many sex workers use alcohol or drugs to cope with what they're doing. Now, one of the more serious aspects, I will say, even though, the whole game in itself is serious, but the next thing that I want to talk about is the physical dangers of being in the game. Being a sex worker can put you at risk of STDs, being raped, being kidnapped, being beaten, being abused, among other things. And one of the things that I was told when I was in the game that, is just part of it. And if something like that were to happen to you, you're just going to have to charge it to the game and call it for what it is.
Y'all remember that show, To Catch a Predator? Like, I've been seeing a lot more predator catching videos on YouTube. I actually find them pretty entertaining, but y'all should go see some of those videos because you would never see some men and be like, wow, this man fantasizes about sleeping with a 7-year-old. You would not think that when you see men, right? You don't just assume that the man you're dating right now likes men, right? So those are just two extreme examples of pedophilia and them being gay that they're into. So you don't think there's other weird stuff that they're into? Bestiality, they're into a lot of different stuff. Like, I've seen one of the predator catchers, they were trying to get a child and an animal together. So when you're getting paid for stuff like this, you're not just gonna have like a cute little love scene out of a movie. It's gonna be something that you probably need therapy for, depending on who it is. These people are on drugs. We hear what's happening with Diddy, right? So save yourself a clinic trip, some therapy, um, some trips to the police station, and some crying nights, and just get you a part-time job. Please get you a part-time job. If you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think, if you've tried it, if you've had friends that have tried it, if you can attest to seeing what other women have been through, because social media is making it look cute. It's making it look fun. Like, I want to go to Dubai, but we all know what happens in Dubai when you see a young girl on a camel somewhere in Dubai. We all know how she got there and what she's doing while she's there. So it's stuff like that that we need to talk about it. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.